4 more people have been arrested on suspicion of murder after a 16-year-old boy was fatally stabbed. The boy, from Bartley Green, was stabbed in Coventry Street, Stourbridge just before 7 p.m. on Saturday. He was driven to Rowley Regis and an ambulance called, but he died at the scene. 2 men, 19, and 2 boys, 16, remain in custody. 1 suspect was arrested at his home address and 3 went to a police station. 2 teenagers and a man in his 20s who were previously arrested in connection with the attack have been released under investigation. DETINSP Laura Harrison said, "These arrests are a significant step forward in our investigation, but we are still asking for anyone with information to come forward." The victim's family has been fully updated with this latest development and continue to be supported. Thank you for watching. Maybe now is a good time to like and subscribe below. Detectives are appealing for information after a man was found with fatal stab injuries in Brent. Police were called at 21:49 hours on Monday, the 17th of July to reports of a man in his 40s with a stab injury in the Dean, Wembley. Officers, the London Ambulance Service and London's Air Ambulance all attended. Despite the efforts of the emergency services, the man died at the scene. The investigation is being led by detectives from the Met Specialist Crime Command. Detective Chief Inspector Linda Bradley, leading the investigation, said, "First and foremost, my thoughts are with the man's family and friends at what is an incredibly difficult time. At present we believe the man sustained his injuries in King Edward VII Park and then made his way to the Dean, where residents discovered him and called the emergency services. I am really keen to hear from anyone who saw or heard anything out of the ordinary in the park and surrounding areas on Monday the 17th of July between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. Please do not hesitate to get in touch. No matter how insignificant you may think your information to be, it could be the key to our investigation." 2 men and a woman were arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder and have been released on bail to return at a future date. A crime scene remains in place at the location and surrounding areas including King Edward VII Park where the initial incident is believed to have taken place. Anyone with any information that could help the investigation should call police on 101. James Boyle, 69, a former chief inspector with Cambridgeshire Police, has been jailed for 16 years for historic rape offences. He left the force in 2003 where he was head of legal services after 22 years of service. It was while serving as a Cambridgeshire police officer that the offences took place. Detectives from our specialist child abuse investigation team have secured justice for a woman abused more than 30 years ago, said a spokesperson for Essex Police whose investigation secured the conviction. Boyle was convicted in April of abusing the female between 1986 and 1991 when she was a teenager. The victim reported what had happened to her in 2018 following an exchange of messages on social media. She told us Boyle's abuse had left her feeling upset, ashamed, and guilty, said the police spokesperson. Following their investigation, Boyle, of Sudbury Place, Edinburgh, was convicted of 2 counts of rape when the girl was under the age of 16 and 1 of indecent assault following a trial at the same court yesterday. Boyle was sentenced to 16 years in jail. Judge Philip Gray said Boyle told his victim, "At the time of a rape when she was under the age of 16, I know this is wrong, but I just can't help myself." The judge said that Boyle had lived a lie and that none of his professional accolades would have been available to him if he had been convicted at the time. The victim told the court that because Boyle denied the offences, it had been for her extremely distressing and harrowing. The judge told Boyle that, on your instructions, the victim was cross-examined for 3 days. "You showed her no mercy then, just as you had her at your mercy as a child," he said. Investigating Officer Detective Sergeant Carla Hillier said, "James Boyle's abuse has had a significant impact on the victim, and I want to pay tribute to the bravery she has shown in coming forward and telling us what happened." At the time he was questioned in relation to the offences, Boyle was a trained defence barrister. He knew the system and had support from many professional colleagues, providing character references in his defense. He denied the abuse he subjected the victim to ever happened. And yet the jury saw through this and found him guilty. No court result will ever turn back time, but I hope this helps the victim move forward. She has been listened to and she has been believed. It is never too late to get justice. D.S. Hillier added, I also want to highlight the work of Detective Constable Adam Clark, who has worked tirelessly on this case. I am pleased our efforts have resulted in Boyle's conviction and justice for the victim. After leaving the Cambridgeshire Force with a Long Service Medal, a Good Conduct Medal and having been awarded the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal, he moved to Scotland and became a barrister. On LinkedIn, the business social media website, he described himself as having considerable experience in law enforcement and criminal advocacy as a practitioner. I also have significant experience of training in these areas. I would like to develop the training side of my practice at the moment. He lists his most recent role as barrister at law with Lothians and Borders Police, representing clients in the Crown Court and Court of Appeal.